Hello and welcome to the Wilderness of Creativity. I'm your host, Lucy, and I'm a passionate dance and drama teacher, proud mum of one, and first-time podcaster. I am so pleased to have you here with me as I explore the theme of creativity and hear from creatives and entrepreneurs just like you. Since starting this adventure in April 2024, after an amazing 6-week course with Sarah McDowell from the SEO Mindset, I've met some incredible people and had some really beautiful, deep, meaningful conversations about what creativity really means. Is creativity a luxury or a necessity? Well, you get to decide. Tune in every month and explore how my guests find their focus in a world that never stops buzzing and discover what it really means to take the road less travelled. So, subscribe now, follow me on Instagram and Facebook, and if you love the show, then leave a review. And that's it. Welcome to your next adventure. And breathe. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Yeah.
What have you been up to the last few weeks?
Last few weeks recovering from the fringe.
Hello and welcome to another episode of The Wilderness of Creativity. Today I welcome Dr. Janet Shipton to the podcast, an inspiring community activist and visual artist based in Nottinghamshire. With over 25 years of experience in project and design management across various sectors including retail, manufacturing and research, Janet has built a multifaceted career that showcases her creativity and dedication to making a difference. In 2018, Janet was diagnosed with younger onset Parkinson's disease at the age of 47. Among her remarkable achievements since this new chapter in her life are a 12-month art road trip, culminating in the publication of her book, A Different Road, which was funded by Arts Council England in 2022. Janet's creative spirit shines through her music as well. She co-wrote the song The Road with Sheila North and Charlotte Daniels, which not only participated in the World Parkinson Song Contest, but also won. Janet has also created the Parky Players, and she co-created the award-winning show Shaken Not Stirred, which has seen her perform 6 days at the renowned Edinburgh Fringe Festival just this year. In today's episode, we talk about Janet's incredible career, the impact of Parkinson's on her daily life, and how she harnesses art as a powerful form of expression. Join us as she reflects on the importance of acceptance, adaptation, and ambition, and explores how theatre serves as a platform for change. Right, let's get to the episode. How did that all come about then?
The last one came about because I called us together last Christmas to do a Christmas show, and then we decided to be ambitious and go for a new show to go to the Fringe. It all came together originally in lockdown. So we did there was a Parkinson's group that did an online chat and support group, and somebody said, Janet, what's your next challenge? And I said, well, can we not do something together? And we came up with this idea of an online pantomime, and then the rest is history. We created this thing, and it's getting bigger and bigger.
So Parky Players, how many actually are in the group?
It varies. Originally it was 7. I'm trying to cast my mind back. Yeah, now the whole cast and crew is 17. So 17 of us went up to Edinburgh and stayed in a big house together.
That must be amazing.
A Big Brother style house. And it was amazing. It was strange, quite difficult at times as well, So the age ranges from probably the youngest is 50 and the eldest is 76. So we've got quite a range, really, to say that people with Parkinson's. We had Dave, the film maker, came with us as well. So he recorded a lot of it. So he's making a short film of our journey. So that's quite exciting. We've got that to come out.
Do you have a background in theatre then?
No, never done it before in my life.
So it's so brave to put yourself out there on the stage and write the script, or did you co-write it, or did you do it yourself?
We co-wrote the scripts. We wrote them and we workshopped them, and we have a scriptwriter, Rachel Green, who works with us and teases it out of us. But also, I've done some separate stuff, So, and we've got Dan Webber, also a stand-up comedian poet, who works with us as well a bit. who I got on board in 2020. And so they've been with us, so they help. But yeah, a lot of it's our own creations. And I don't know, just kind of how hard can it be? That old motto and that old phrase. And it can be quite hard at times. But, you have to give it a go, don't you?
I think something that you've just said there about bringing people into the project. I mean, obviously you've got, over two decades of experience in project management, and obviously those skills and that experience really does sort of come into play, doesn't it? How do those skills sort of help you bring all of those people together?
Yeah, it's funny you should say that, because somebody said to me the other day, how do you, because I'm just embarking on another project where I've got to pull people together, an art project. And somebody said to me, a friend said to me, how do you do it? And I just, well, I don't know, you just know how to do it. If you've been a project manager, as you say, you've got experience of, so, you look at the project, you look at what resources you need, you look at the facilities you need, the space you need, the budget that you've got, and then you work it through. And it comes quite naturally that, you kind of have to pull the different pieces together. And obviously you have to get people on board with it. So you have to come up with the title, the kind of elevator pitch, if you want to use that phrase.
Yeah.
What are you trying to do? So in a very short period of time, you can get across the message and get people to buy into it. And these are all things I just think you gain experience of doing it. When I was 23, when I first started doing project management, I didn't know how to do it. So I just kind of watched other people and learned from others. And then over time, you just gain the experience. And that's when the kind of how hard can it be comes into place. Because you can actually, if you can project manage, you can just about do anything.
I think so.
Within reason, because you can get the resource to help you anyway. If you can't do it yourself, you can learn from others and buy in resource and get people to help you. So yeah, everything's possible, isn't it? It's just having those skills to bring it together.
Yeah, everything's possible. I love that. As a project manager, it's about the bigger picture, isn't it? So having that vision. So what companies did you work for then as you were a project manager?
Yeah, so when I graduated from Sheffield Hallam, I worked for Carnell Metal Box. For those in the packaging industry would know them, a big company all around the UK. And then I went into, that was manufacturing, then I went into retail, worked for Boots the Chemist, our lovely Boots, and worked in the packaging team there. And then I got loads of experience there. They were brilliant, great people. We worked hard, we played hard, in my early 20s, but gained loads of experience. And then I went to Sheffield Hallam, took a chance and set up a design consultancy for them, and from scratch, and then worked as a researcher and gained a PhD, did that part-time. And then I left them and worked for Chesapeake, which was a big packaging company. I think they've changed the name now, but I ran the design team for them. And then I left to run my own consultancy. Oh, and I worked for Mondelez, which is Cadbury's. So I worked I used to go from Beeston to Bourneville every day for a little while, and gained a lot of experience from working for them, because that was all brand and managing the Cadbury's brand, globally, and milk, because that was fun, innovation. So kind of varied, manufacturing, retail, brand, research, lecturing.
And when you're in those different roles, when you're wearing those different hats, I think there's a lot of people that rely on you. That can feel quite a big responsibility.
Yeah, and I think one of the main things that you learn as well is communication skills. Because as you said about project management, you have to pull together lots of different people and get them to believe in the project and translate things. You're kind of in the middle, a conduit for people to talk to each other and get and progress things. And some people talk in a different language to other people. Manufacturing might talk in different language to marketing, and you're in the middle trying to pull it all together. But it's great if you can learn how to do it, because that's really the key to unlocking any problem like that.
And the adaptability, being able to kind of communicate and connect with lots of different people on their level, like meet them where they are.
Definitely, and that's what I found when I first worked for Boots. I had to go into print meetings, go to printers and talk to them in a way, and then go up to the senior marketing team and talk to them in a way, and you become a chameleon, or you can a shapeshift. You can read the room and work in different ways to get the best out of the project, which is good when you're doing it. But actually, after a while, I started to find that I'd done it for too long, and I started to feel like I needed to find my true self again.
Yes,
which is why I left the kind of working for the man, if you like, well before I got diagnosed with Parkinson's, and I ran my own design consultancy after that, so I could pick and choose what work I wanted to do and kind of do more things that I felt kind of passionate about.
Yeah.
And then I worked for a few companies, doing my own consultancy work until I got my diagnosis.
So when did that diagnosis come then?
Yeah, so that was in 2018. So what's that, 6 years? I've just gotten past my 6-year anniversary.
Years.
Yeah, and it was tough because I worked for a little while afterwards with my diagnosis, and then I opened up to one of the directors of one of the companies I was working for, and they never called me back after having the diagnosis. Yeah, not great. It didn't help the impact of the diagnosis, but you have to just pick yourself up and get on with it, And I suppose a lot of this is, succeeding is having self-belief and just carrying on. But it does hit you, yeah, of course it does. It hits your confidence, and it kind of reinforces the doubts that you have in yourself.
Did you have any symptoms then? Was it a shock?
It was a real shock, yeah. If I'm honest, the only symptoms I had was I put it down to being kind of late 40s.
Yeah.
I put it down to being perimenopausal, and I put it down to just slowing up. And but the things that I was noticing, my arm wasn't swinging when I was walking, which is a textbook sign, but I didn't realise that. On my right side, I was wearing down my heel. I was doing quite a bit of running, and my heel was wearing down more on one side than the other. Because obviously now I realise that I was running differently, and it was causing me pain because I was kind of running lopsided. But little things like turning the key in the door when I was entering the door, it was slow, and I couldn't kind of do that movement. And also the reason I really worried about what was wrong with me was I was on holiday with my friend Caroline, and I was writing a postcard to my mother-in-law because she loved postcards, and my handwriting was so small, really small. And Caroline said to me, do you expect anybody to be able to read that? And I looked at it and I thought, yeah, that's really weird. And it's not something you can control. It's very hard to explain, but it was really small, and it's called micrographica. And so I went to the GP, and she pretty much diagnosed it straight away. To be honest, she just said, "I think I'll send you to a neurologist." And but I was really stupid. I didn't think about it at all. I just cycled off to the hospital appointment, kind of quite self-assured and quite cocky, and thinking that it'd be nothing. And then, quarter of an hour later, you're there weeping with tissues in your hand, being told, go and read these leaflets and come, and we'll send for you in a few weeks, and we'll tell you what to do.
Did you go on your own?
I did, yeah. I didn't.
I suppose you didn't think to go with anyone.
No. So I came out of the room and rang my sister. She dropped everything. Yeah. She was in a work meeting, dropped everything. Came over, and we just sat in the coffee shop at the hospital reception area, just crying. And you feel devastated because you think all the future that you planned has gone. Everything that we all have visions about how we'll be. I'll be the coolest, auntie in my 70s that I can be. I'll keep fit. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. You will kind of have a vision of what we're going to be, and then that kind of your legs get kicked from under you. All that goes initially, and then you have to, take time, read, understand, talk to others, give yourself the space to come to terms with it, and then you start to come around a bit, but it takes time.
When we chatted on the phone, talked a little bit about my mother-in-law, and her handwriting has got smaller and smaller and smaller, and I suppose she wouldn't have known. We wouldn't have known. I mean, for a period of time, my other half and his brother questioned whether or not it was Parkinson's. There was a real sense of denial.
Well, I think that's it. I think everybody's symptoms are very different, so it's quite hard to pick up. And it depends on your age as well. If you're older, it can sometimes be masked as other things. And the impact of it on you is different, depends on what age you are and what other conditions you have as well. So it's individual. It's a very individual thing. And there's more talk about, not calling it a disease anymore, and calling it a condition for sure, but also it's something that you just have to live with, and it comes in so many different forms that there's it's questionable whether you even lump it as one name really. I mean, we have to, because we have to identify it as something. But we call it a movement disorder, but there's so many hidden parts of having Parkinson's that you don't see in somebody. So if somebody looks like they're coping really well with Parkinson's, there's a lot that you don't see that's hidden that they're dealing with to look as well as what they are doing. The iceberg thing, it's the tip of the iceberg that you see. But there's all the other stuff as well. But
and when I met Sheila, she said that she'd been watching herself in a video, I think, and she was quite surprised on how still she was.
Yeah. When I look at videos of myself performing with the Parky Players, I'm really dyskinetic. So I've got kind of involuntary movements. So because I'm quite high, because I'm quite energetic, and I'm kind of moving in a really strange way. I don't worry about it now because why should I?
Yeah.
But if you let it, it would upset you because I look different. But I don't. And also on photos, I can tell when I'm off, when my medicines aren't working right, because I have facial masking, and so I don't pull the same expressions that I would normally. I have like a downturned mouth and just lack of expression. And it's very hard. It's not something you can control. It's not something you can just, if somebody said smile, cheer up, it might never happen, or whatever. When people say it to you when you're walking down the street, you can't make yourself look different. It's not even, it's hard to explain, but you can't even tell yourself to smile because it's the messages from the brain to so you actually can't do much about it. It's very, very hard to explain, but very disconcerting, especially when you're out with people. And, if you're out in social settings, you don't want to look different. But you just have to, that's part of coming to terms with it, that you have to get over that you will look different, and people have to accept it because you still need to go out, you still need to do things, you still need to carry on. So, but that's a big thing of acceptance.
And I find it fascinating that you are, you're exploring your creativity, your creative passions, with the theatre, and your art, because I've looked at all of your beautiful artwork as well. The latest one, Blue, I think it's called, is it? So can you talk to me about how, with that acceptance, I suppose, that creativity has allowed you to keep moving forward?
Yeah, so I've always painted. I've always been quite a creative person. I think problem solving, creating opportunities, creating ways of doing things is all part of it. But I've always been a painter, as a visual artist. So painting is my way of dealing with things. It always has been. Even when I was a little girl, I used to go and paint in my bedroom and deal with issues, worries, and that's continued throughout my life. But it's become more important as I've got older, especially through the diagnosis. It's become important to me as an individual, expressing myself and coming to terms with ideas and thoughts and expressing them through. I do a bit of poetry, I do a bit of writing as well as, whichever form I feel it needs to come out in, I let it come out. But painting particularly. But also, it's a collaborative thing as well. It's working with others. I absolutely love doing art workshops with other people. People who have painted before, people who haven't painted before, who don't think they can do it. Because everybody can do it. Because it doesn't matter what it looks like. It's about the process, not the end result. And I think I do some art with other Parkinson's sufferers, and the effect it has on some of them is the self-esteem. So getting back to the original question, it is therapy for me, but it also helps my self-esteem because I can do it and I enjoy it. And then when I see others enjoying it and their mood's altering because of doing it, it's just a really lovely experience. And let's face it, I love it when people say that they like my work, and that kind of, because it boosts my confidence. And you need that when you've had a hit, like when you had a diagnosis that hits your whole confidence and your self-esteem. You really need something. You need to find some things that you feel that you can do or that you enjoy, or that you don't have to be brilliant at it, but you just need to find some things that boost you as an individual and help you find yourself, I think. And art's one of those things. But I see the power of it with other people, and it's just amazing. I love doing group work. I really do. And I just love the kind of the chat that you have with it. If you want to be quiet, we're quiet, but we just have nice music on in the background. We just chill out. We get into everybody's focusing on the same thing and creating something. And I love the fact that we'll then break off and look at each other's creations, and they're all completely different. Because that's what art and creativity is. We all interpret things differently, and we interpret it through our own lens of what we're experiencing and how we see things. And It just fascinates me. I love it.
You know, when you are together and you're painting or you're writing or whatever it is that you're doing, whatever medium it is, coming together and talking about it and sharing that moment with somebody, it is about understanding and empathy and kind of holding the space for each other, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think I look back on some of the work that I've created, some of the things that I've written, some of the paintings, and it's a record of how you were at that time as well. It's fascinating because I look at them and I think I'd never paint that now because some of them show a real a darkness to my emotions as well. Some of them show a real lightness and frivolity, but some of them show real darkness. And I remember, and it's a record of where I was at that time, you know. And it's actually really helpful because you think I've come a long way,
Yes.
or I've, you know, you can see how where you've been and where you've come,
Mm.
and yeah, and also I do a lot of life drawing, and that's life drawing is quite nice because it can record how my mark making is as well. So I can also see how my hand movement, you know, how my ability, my dexterity is progressing. So it's quite a good way of checking how you're doing as well.
I've always written in a journal ever since I was
Mm,
a kid. You know, I've always kept a diary. And I look back on them now, you know, and it's, you know, 14-year-old Lucy, oh, he's broken up with me. I'm so devastated. I loved him.
yeah, but it was very important at the time, wasn't it? And
Yeah.
really, you know, that was the most important
Yeah.
thing. I mean, I've done quite a bit of journaling myself, not as much as you have, but I did 20 days in 2020. I did a art retreat for 20 days when it was just before lockdown, actually. I came back 2 days before we all locked down. So I was really good at social isolation because I've done
You've
it
done it.
in this caravan for 20 days. But I wrote a journal about that. I really enjoyed that. Was, you know, just quite early in my diagnosis. So I had lots of time to think and chew over and represent in art and words how I was feeling. So that was very good for me, and seem to, you know, I still have people now that talk to me about that they've seen the book and seen the small book that I did and get something from it. And then I did a 12-month tour around the UK. Every month I went for a week in my motorhome, and wrote about that as well and painted as I went, and I published a little book about that as well, a journal, and I really enjoyed doing that because that was over 12 months. So it kind of, and I was trying to be really honest in it
Yeah.
about how I was feeling and the highs and lows, and then represent that through the art that I did. So that I enjoyed doing that very much.
I think sometimes you can censor yourself if you know that you're going to be creating a piece of art, whatever it is, and then it's going to be exhibited somewhere, or you know, there's that kind of worry that it's going to be judged, people are going to have opinions about it. But actually, if you're just doing something for yourself, like the journaling, you don't have to hold
No,
back. You can just be completely honest.
yeah, it's lovely. It's a really lovely form of recording how you feel
Mm,
and getting it out there.
yeah.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it.
You've done
Yeah.
loads of things as well. I mean, Parky Players, yes. You've done a dance-a-thon.
Oh
You've
yeah.
done the 12-month art road trip that was ACE funded, wasn't it? And
Yes.
you've
Yeah.
created the book. And we talked the other day about The Road, the song that you co-wrote with
Yeah.
Sheila,
Yeah. Yeah.
and performed that in Barcelona. I mean, what an incredible achievement! Because you have a challenge every year, is it?
No, I just do them whenever
Just do them whenever you like.
whenever I come with a new one.
It's brilliant.
The road was written as a song as part of the first show that we created. Parker Players created. Sheila and I co-wrote the lyrics, and the lyrics mean a lot to us. And we sing it. It's our thing now that we sing it at the end of every show that the Parker Players does, and we provide the lyrics for the audience to sing along with. We invite them to sing along, and you can get it on if you search Parker Players the Road. You can get it on YouTube, I think, somewhere. But yeah, we sang it in so I entered it into the World Parkinson's Congress competition, song competition, and we sung it with a choir that was made up of people from around the world that got Parkinson's that learnt it online. And there's Judy Spencer led a choir online, and then we all met together in Barcelona. It was very emotional. It was
I
wonderful,
bet it was.
and we sang it in front of about 3,000 people, and we got a video. My friend and filmmaker Dave McFarlane did a video that's on the stage behind us on the backdrop and the stage with the words and the video, and it's really moving. It's beautiful.
It's very
Yeah,
moving. I've
yeah.
watched it. In fact, I've watched it quite a few times because on your website, you've got so much on there. It's beautiful. You've got your artwork, you've got the workshops that you do, you've got the challenges that you've done. But in your words, you say with the Parky Players and the song, if you listen to The Road, it expresses absolutely everything more than any words on a page could. It's that moment.
Yeah, and it's not about Parkinson's. It's about acceptance, adaptation, and ambition. The three things that myself and Michael Hill came up with, and that he's another Parkinson sufferer and an artist. And we had a coffee and we were talking about three things that you need when you've got Parkinson's, and we, and I think it's spot on: acceptance, adaptation, and ambition. And we kind of interweave that into the lyrics of the song as well. There's a little bit, and and the key line that I love is being brave to step out of the race. That really means a lot to me. There's a few lyrics in there that I really love, but I think anybody can take something from the song, because it's about even if you're just getting older, or change that is imposed on you, or just getting on with life. It's all there, isn't it? It's in the lyrics.
Life is challenging. Some years are harder than others. Some moments are harder than others.
I think to be content, my philosophy, and it's not easy. I'm not saying easy. I have bad days, but I think to be content, you need to have acceptance of whatever's happened to you, or wherever you are in life. And then when you've got acceptance, you can then adapt. You can then move forward. You can then make the best of it. And I also think you need a little bit of ambition. And ambition can be just getting up in the morning. Doing something, doing a painting, or doing a sketch, or it doesn't have to be big stuff, or it could be setting up a new theatre company. It can be big or small, but ambition can be anything. But you need a bit of that as well, I think, to keep going, keep moving forward.
Yeah. In terms of your challenges, is it this year that you've done the UK tour?
Yeah,
it is, isn't it? Of Shaken Not Stirred.
We finished.
Love that.
It was a James Bond themed show, sketch show. It was funny. We had some really good audience reactions, great reviews. We won the competition as well. Guy Robson Award, inaugural award for promoting disabilities through theatre. So that was nice.
Amazing.
Really pleased with that.
Congratulations.
And, thank you. And we got 4 stars as well, reviews. So, and to say that we're not an amateur theatre company, we're professional because we sell tickets, we do shows. However, we aren't classically trained. We haven't got a huge amount of experience. For a team like us, it's pretty. Yeah, we're really proud. We're really proud.
Do you have characters that you play?
But some of them are more based on ourselves than others. So we had Bond. Not everybody in the troupe has got Parkinson's. Supporters of people with Parkinson's. So we've got friends and family and other. So we've got a guy called Gary and Sue that joined us. They were from another local theatre group that we collaborated, and they just loved it. They were brilliant. They embraced it. He played Bond. And one of my main characters, we play multiple characters as well. But my main character was Honey Levodopa, and so I was an ex secret agent, and I was reminiscing over my time when I was younger, and I was a successful secret agent. But it was great fun. I came on to Diamonds Are Forever, Shirley Bassey's Diamond Forever, and milked it.
Amazing! I love that song.
It's so much fun.
It is, and that's it, isn't it? It's about embracing everything, and finding that joy when you can. Sometimes it is just about rallying round and getting people together and relying on them, and that could be hard, especially when you've been the sort of person that, is in charge, that is responsible for things, for getting stuff done, and then to kind of lose that confidence and need to rely on people. It's super hard.
Yeah. I mean, and the theatre thing, the benefits of it are so much, are more than just what the audience see. What it's done for us as members of the theatre group, Parky Players, is immense. I mean, my friend Magnus, who's got Parkinson's, was diagnosed a few years ago, who was, until I had to persuade him to join us, and he was really reluctant, and he won't mind me saying this, he's kind of come out of himself, And him and his wife Denise came to the Fringe, and he just loved it so much that he had a tattoo of the Parky Players on his arm.
Really?
And it makes me smile from ear to ear that he's done that. I'm so pleased. Yeah, he had a great part. He gets all the best reviews, and he basically says no one word. He says no. His character is Doctor No, and he just says no in a monosyllabic way. But he steals the show. So it's just wonderful. And what I love about Park Players is it's not about being the best. It's not about having the best part or the biggest part. It's about what we're trying to achieve is that giving people a voice and and raising awareness, changing expectations, and giving people the opportunity to do something that they wouldn't normally do. So I don't care if somebody's not the best actor or not or can't really deliver the lines, because we can adapt the lines, we can make it work, because that's what it's about, and that's what disability arts and all that is inclusivity. So I just love it. It makes me so happy that we've done it.
What's next?
Well, most of us want to do something more, but it took a lot out of me because I pulled a lot of it together, as a project manager. And we need money, so we're going to do some more fundraising. We need fundraising because we need to get some money so we can pay for some admin support, because it's too much really. But there'll be more. It might just take a little bit more time. If it's not this year, we'll do next year. We'd like to go again this year, but I think it's more likely to be the year after. But it'll be. We've got the ambition to do it.
What are you going to be planning for yourself, those quieter moments?
Well, I'm going to get back more into my art. So I recently finished a 12-month sketch a day project, where I did a sketch every day. It's you can see it on Instagram, sketch a day 23, 24. And I managed to do it. It had to be in before, every piece of artwork had to be in before 12 midnight.
Wow.
And it had to be created on the day. And I managed to do the year, but it took it out of me. But I'm missing it now. I'm actually missing it because it was a discipline that I got into, and I loved doing it. And that again is a record of what happened in my life, where I was, what mood I was in. Some sketches were tiny because I was so busy. Some were kind of 3 hours work or 4 hours work. So to fill that gap, that creative gap, I'm doing more life drawing, and I've just got a project. I'm just getting a project off the ground to do a life drawing project, collaborating with University of Nottingham.
Oh, wow.
And we're looking at trying to understand the benefits of creativity on people taking part. We're going to do it through life drawing workshops and portraiture, and we're going to do non-invasive testing of like before and during and after of the participants to see mood changes, and also we're going to have a resulting exhibition of the work. So we're going to have photography and life drawing, and the subject is kind of looking at the body and how we present ourselves through disability, and so we want empowering. The exhibition will hopefully be something thought-provoking, challenging, and empowering for those taking part and those looking at it as well.
Oh my gosh, Janet, that sounds incredible.
Yeah, I'm really excited by it. Yeah.
I want to come. I want to be involved somehow. I don't know how,
you can do that.
But I want to help in any way and be involved in that. I really do think that creativity is at the heart of everything.
Yeah.
And we need to embrace it. We need to champion it. It's what brings us together. It can support us through so much of our lives. I look at my little boy and he plays all day. He's learning all the time and he's playing.
Well, it's exploration, isn't it?
Yeah.
And anybody can do it. So the other thing with creativity is it doesn't matter what situation you're in, or your mind. You can always, you've got a freedom of your mind. Whatever situation you're in. If you're disabled, if you you don't have to be rich. You don't have to. There's pen and paper. You can. You're only limited by yourself, really, and to have that freedom to express yourself is really important. It's really important to mental health. And I think we undervalue it. I agree. I think we undervalue it. I mean, when I was at school, I had a great teacher, Mr. Slee, and he's still around. I know where he is. I
know where you are, Mr. Slee.
Yeah, but I can't express how grateful I am to him. He encouraged me, and he used to put my artwork on the wall. He used to say, when you've done your maths and English, you can go into the art room. So I used to get it done quickly because I wanted to go in the art room. But he encouraged me and said that I was good at doing something, and that's what that's what you need when you're younger. And to have that kind of, to have it valued, to have creative practice valued is really important.
Yes.
when you need it. I mean, once you're more confident in yourself, you know for yourself what benefit you get from it.
But I think that's it, isn't it? It's ensuring that our children know in themselves that they have that capacity. So many conversations I have with people, and they'll say, "Well, I'm not creative."
Yeah.
You are. Everybody's creative. You know, you don't have to be a performer. You don't have to be a musician. You don't have to do, those traditional sort of artistic expressions. You're creative in the way that you maintain friendships and relationships. You're creative in the way that you prepare your food. You're creative in the way that you express yourself through your clothes.
Precisely, absolutely. How you do your hair. It's all an expression of yourself. And going back to the Parkinson's group that do the art, when you see people who come in and they really look quite disabled, quite limited in their movement, and also quite down, with their partners, and they say they can't. Well, their partner often tells me that they can't do it, and but I put the material in front and just say, well, do what you can, anything doesn't matter, make some marks, doesn't matter, and without. There's never been anybody that I haven't seen improve in mind, in mood through doing it. And there are sometimes occasions when people go out with their piece of artwork and they're so proud of it, smiling from ear to ear, and it absolutely, I'm floating on air. It's the most wonderful thing, and it's so powerful. It's so powerful. So I just encourage anybody who's in whatever state you're in, but particularly if you're in a bit of a dark space and feeling like you can't get out of it, just get a pen and paper, get some paint. I think sometimes it's the splashing of paint, it's the action of material on material, textures, colours. Colours can change your mood. Sometimes I find in my work, I paint in a certain colour without realising I'm doing it because I need that. But also sometimes if I feel like my mood's down, I will choose a colour to paint predominantly with, and I will find it'll lift my mood somewhat. It does affect me in that way.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of research at the moment, isn't there, about dopamine dressing and wearing certain colours and textures and patterns and things.
Absolutely. And the thing that you said about dopamine, I mean, went to a recent conference, Parkinson's conference, and there's a little bit, Professor Baz Bloom talked about creativity and chemical creativity, he called it. And I don't want to paraphrase a bit, I hope I get this kind of right, but dopamine is, the what people with Parkinson's are lacking in the brain. We don't create so much dopamine. But dopamine is the kind of thing that gives you hope and creativity and keeps you looking up and keeps you positive and keeps you, so when we take medicines that replace dopamine, it can sometimes, I think there's a theory that it can make us creative in a different way because it's giving us more dopamine, different type of dopamine. And there's a question whether it's chemical creativity but you know what? I don't care. It doesn't matter because, but that's why I think it's so important for people with Parkinson's, anybody, but people with Parkinson's to harness creativity and do some art because there's probably a good theory behind it, why it connects in with the dopamine and why we should be doing it. So I definitely just urge people to give it a go. If you can't paint, collage, get some. I've done quite a lot of collage. You can do messages, you can cut words out, you can create things that mean something for you. You can do anything really.
Yeah. My mother-in-law is losing her dexterity, but she loves to read.
I think poetry. I've never found poetry before, but I have now. Writing bits and then illustrating the poetry that I write, or just reading other people's.
Music as well.
Absolutely, and creating music. Creating music. I mean, I've just joined a music group on a Monday night here, right near where I live, and I play the keyboards a little bit, but not very well. But
Yeah.
and singing, and singing and just
singing.
dancing, singing, moving, anything that just changes your mood. If you're in a down place, go and put some music on and just move a little bit. Even if your movement's restricted, just find the beat and it might change your mood. It's all within us to try and change our state, that we're in. But sometimes it's very hard, very difficult. But it's up for us to do it. Just to find a way through it. We owe it to ourselves because otherwise, you just can get in a downward spiral, can't you? And that's not really. good for anybody. So, but there's, definitely creativity in so many different ways.
Oh, Janet, it's been amazing talking to
Oh,
you. I just
thank you.
feel so happy that we've connected, and
Yeah, it's lovely.
you're such an inspiration. Honestly, I'm so excited to hear about the Nottingham University project.
Yeah.
I'm definitely going to come along to that whenever it's up and running.
Brilliant.
And if there's anything, if there's anything that you're doing, please let me know. I'll share and post and celebrate it, because I think creativity is life, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. It's part of being human.